Good day and welcome to HealthierLife.tv. My name's Paul Bursey.
And I'm Warren Connolly.
And we're excited because things are moving. Things are exciting. I mean,
Most
look,
definitely moving.
Yeah, I think it's important that we all have things to look forward to. You know, you could very easily get depressed and start moaning about the current situation of things, but we look forward and things are looking fantastic at the moment. Anyway, just to give me a little advert sort of for what's coming up. And I'm going to ask you a question. Do you suffer from chronic pain? Well, Warren and myself are really looking into it in a big way. I'm going to say no more than that. We've got something cooking. So do you need help, right, with chronic pain? Now, no promises here other than to say that we're committed to helping people. Well, we may be able to guide you in that direction. It's something that we've been working on for at least 18 months. So watch this space, okay? And as I say, hopefully it'll be of interest to you because they say it could be any amount of people that are suffering from chronic pain, but some people say 25% of the world, some people say 30%. I suspect it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
That have chronic pain, whether all the time or some of the time. And that's what we're going to be working on. So if it's of interest to you, keep your eyes peeled and we'll let you know and we'll discuss it. But let's move on to today's show. And today's show is basically get the feel-good factor on demand. Right? We all want the feel-good factor. Would you all agree? Warren, would you say you would?
Who doesn't want the feel-good factor?
Well, okay. Who was that? Just trying to think. I'll think about it. There's someone used to moan on a comedy program in the UK. I can't remember his name. But
I'm sure there's been a number of moaners on comedy programs in the UK, especially.
Yeah, there's one Pacific one. I can't think of his name. What a shame. But okay. Right. So, are you looking for ways to brighten your day? Not just for now, but over the long term. Okay. Are you sitting there? You know, are you depressed? Are you sort of not at your best? We all have that occasionally. Now, it could be many things that are causing that. Can you sort of name a few? Apart from
causing people to be depressed.
Well, not necessarily depressed, but you know, when
down.
you feel a little bit down and you know, and
but
things
down,
like that. Yeah.
The lockdown, quarantine.
Yeah.
That's the first two that come. My first one that comes to mind. Not being able to see people that you regularly see on a regular basis, you know, before, your loved ones, that kind of thing. The downturn of the economy, that can affect many people emotionally and mentally. What else? Those are the kind of the three or four that just come to me at the top of my head right now. But there are many more, which I'm sure we'll get into as we go along.
Yeah, I think psychologically, I think is big at the moment. I mean, I know people that their lifestyle, everything hasn't changed one bit, not one bit. You know, and I know some. Without naming
the situation, right?
That's right. Without naming names, I mean, I don't know about the feel-good factor, but I know how their life goes, and they spend a lot of time in their own room playing games on the computer and things like that,
Okay.
and then they go to work in a bank. So their life is exactly the same.
You know, it was before.
But for me, a big thing for me is not traveling. I hate not traveling. I hate having any restrictions on me, you know, and so I look for most of the time to have the feel-good factor. So, and there's many ways you can do that. Could you name some? Name some more. I mean, I've got some here that I'm going to throw in.
Get me started, please. Get me started, please. I need a kickstart.
Okay. Let's assume you have an exercise regime. Okay.
Yeah.
What you could have is change it all round, do something completely new. And that might knock the cobwebs out, because if you're doing the same thing all the time, you're going to get a little bit jaded, a little bit maybe a little bit bored, not even realize it.
Yeah, and then you hit a plateau. You hit a physiological plateau, and then you kind of that kind of gets you more bored than anything else, because you hit this physical plateau and physiological plateau, and then it becomes depressing, because now you start, many people run out of ideas as to what they can do, especially if they're used to training in gyms. Used to training.
I'm just thinking about saying sorry. I was just thinking, look, people go out for a walk every day, which is fantastic. A bit miserable sometimes in the UK this time of year, but let's assume you go out for a walk every day and you get a little bit bored with it. Well, try walking backwards. I'll be silly, I know, but
look, you say this, you say that, and you joke and you say it in jest, and look, it might actually work for some people, but in my area here, I'm, I take the dog out for a walk twice a day. Okay? And I'm always looking for new routes. Sometimes I do the same patterns, and I go to the same places, but I regularly look for new routes, different places to take her for a walk, because it's engaging for me as well. You know what I mean? I'm not just going through the same mundane road and take this corner and go, no, I want to try to switch it up a little bit. So, sometimes the dog wants to go along the more familiar routes than I do. But it's these small little things, Paul, that eventually work on people's psyches.
Yeah, and they don't realize it.
Yeah,
and that goes both ways.
100%, of course.
Yeah,
and for success, yes, and for change.
I was looking in my cupboard at the food, and I was going, I really need to do something, because I was getting in there, and I like traditional food, and so chili con carne, shepherd's pie, cottage pie.
Chili con carne, traditional food.
Oh yeah, it is in this. Well, it is in this. Well, it is now. It never used to be, but now, like if you had a roast dinner or things like that, and I was just looking.
Although, in all honesty, I never ate more chili con carne than when I lived in England, to be honest. So yes.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Because it's reasonably healthy, and it's easy to cook, and it's all about preparation. I look for lazy preparation, but I've decided today to really to start breaking out and getting some new recipes. And do some things I've never done before, and make myself laugh by making loads of mistakes. Like
canned spaghetti or something.
Oh no, I'm much more sophisticated than that.
Good man. Baked beans.
No. They're I've got things like baked beans are going to be out for a little while.
Okay.
It's going to be good stuff. It's going to be healthy. So introducing.
This is the thing. You can't just because you're on the world's leading nutrition doesn't mean you can cheat with your food all the time.
Oh, I don't cheat. No, I don't cheat my food all the time. Only some of the time. But when you're working, but you have to watch everything. That's why you although you can't watch everything at the same time. You got to keep going back and making sure you're doing the right things. And I realised that it wasn't enough variety there. So that's what
variety is most certainly the spice of life. That is for
absolutely
sure.
Yeah. So I want to introduce some new and exciting things into my diet and the cooking and all this types of things. But whatever it is for the individual, you, meaning all of us, and you whoever's watching this, you need to find the key for you.
Well, I have a question. I have a question that you can lead on from that. Well, okay. I could in my head is how do you see change? Because
what your view to it, you mean?
Yeah, your view towards change. Yeah, how do you see change in your life? And not for you. You can answer this if you want to, but for many people, food is a staple. It's really a staple. And so for them, it's like they need to have every Tuesday a roast, every Friday a curry, every this day. You know what I mean? So to many people, food is a consistency staple. And it gives them they know that they're going to be eating this, this, and this, and this, and this. And food is one example where you don't want to have change in your life. So how do you view change in anything in your life? How do you view change in general? That's an interesting question. I think that people can ask themselves if they want to really spice things up.
Yeah.
Because if you don't like change, you're soon going to find a reason not to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that, but it's lifestyle. It's about your whole lifestyle. You've got to look at it and go, how can I change things around? How can I tinker with things without destroying the status quo? Okay. Now, the status quo can be interesting. It can be really soothing and acceptable, but maybe you just need to give it a few little digs with your elbow occasionally, just to shake things up.
Yeah,
that's basically what I think. Some of what the feel good factor is. You know, if you love classical music, then classical music is going to be around you all your life. But maybe just for a little while, shake it up and have some heavy rock. You know, and I like all those. So, and that's why. Yeah, and I think you should shake it up. And if you've never been to, I'm not at the moment. Okay, we realise you can't go at the moment. But something like going to an opera, okay, that you've never done that before. I went to it. Oh, I loved it. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go every week, but at least I went. I went to a ballet.
Nice.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed it. And it's
when I was being married to a Hungarian woman, they're very cultural in terms of their opera and play theaters and stuff like that. And we went to an orchestral performance here in Budapest once before. It's the first time I've ever seen a full orchestra in my life before. And I never thought I would enjoy it. And then going to see it was like, wow, it was amazing, And then same for like we saw Les Miserables in Dubai. And we were very fortunate. I had a client who gave us tickets to go see it. And I'd never seen a show like that before. And
which one is that?
Les Miserables. Yeah, Les Miserables. Yeah,
Miserables, or whatever it is. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah, with the French accent. And I never thought I'd enjoy watching a theater like that. Yeah, and it was so captivating and enjoyable. It really was.
Yeah.
So, Pink Floyd. I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan. 1994, I arrived in Germany. On the day I arrived in Germany, and I'm using these stories because I want to give an example of spice and variety that this keeps you the juices going. I arrived in Germany, and I'd never been a big Pink Floyd fan. I liked their music, but I was never a big fan of Pink Floyd. And I saw them advertising everywhere I went in Germany, Hanover, Pink Floyd live. And I made a point of going to see that concert because I knew how big it was, Yeah. And I went to go see that Pink Floyd concert 2 days later, the day after arriving in Germany. 2 days later, I go see the Pink Floyd concert in Hanover. Even though I wasn't in that area, I made sure I got there. And man, it changed the way I look at music. Going to see that concert changed the way I see music for the rest of my life. It was absolutely life-changing in that respect. And you never know. Sometimes something may pop up, and you think to yourself, really? Do I really want to do that? Because you're not used to it. It's a change. And you go, and all of a sudden, things just literally change for you. Perspective on something in life can actually really change for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I was in New York in 2000, I think it was 2002, I think it was, I met up with this, I think, Malaysian woman. That's another story, but it wasn't romantically involved or anything like that. But because we were in the same place where we were staying, we hooked up together to go out and go to museums, and we went to see something called Blue Man.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
And I tell you what, I really didn't want to go and see it, but I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's
completely
mad.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
but it was just a one-off thing, and it was fantastic. And I think I think what people have got to do is find what works for them, whatever the variety is that you got to do. Just keep that feel-good factor. Now, you can't keep the feel-good factor going all the time.
No, you can't.
That's not what it's about.
Well,
because
I mean, you can. Okay.
you can up to a certain point. What I'm saying is, you're going to have those little down periods, and they're okay. You need them as well.
In terms of activities and making changes in your life,
yeah,
to create that feel-good factor, you can't keep doing that. You're right, but you can create that yourself.
Yeah.
You can create that feel-good factor yourself within yourself, and this is something that I've been learning a lot about recently in recent times. How to create that feel-good factor within you. Yeah. And when you learn the tools on how to do something like that, you no longer start looking for external reasons to feel good.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those needs get smaller and smaller and smaller. But in the same breath, I still like to change things up. I think it's just so important to keep me young as well. So yeah, sorry, Paul. I just wanted to.
No, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's look, it's doing what you love and finding new things to love. Okay, it's doing what makes you smile, but finding new things to make you smile that you never even thought of. Okay, and the other thing is to do things that make you feel great. And there's a million and one things out there you can do. I know it's a little bit restricting at the moment, but thanks for YouTube, because you can at least do a virtual visit of everything. If you haven't been to the Taj Mahal, you can do it online. Not as good as the real thing, nothing like it. But
you can't feel the marble, can you?
But look at But I mean, you just got to have the right attitude towards it, and just and know that one day we'll be going back there, type of thing. Maybe the feel-good factors are just a little bit about just a case of going back crazy. Okay. Oops, sorry, bats is probably not the right thing to talk about.
Why?
No, I'm not going to go there.
Is that a UK thing?
No. Where did the coronavirus first? They say it came from.
Oh,
so that's what I mean. Yeah. So anyway, look, this is HealthierLife.tv, and so we are talking about healthier. I know you're saying, well, what are they talking about the feel-good factor? Well, the feel-good factor is good for your body.
Yes.
Okay, it boosts your endorphins, which are your mood elevators. Okay, and that's the reason.
Vibrational energy.
Absolutely. Yes. So just make sure most of your vibrations are good and positive. All right. You can have a few negative ones. That's all right. You're allowed. Okay. It's not all doom and gloom, and it's not all, is it sun and roses? I can't think what they call it. Yeah. Sunshine and roses. Yes, sunshine and roses. So, but when was the last time you pampered yourself? Now, careful, Warren. We don't want to know what you do in your spare time. All right.
Well, that I would do that in my spare time if I pampered myself.
I mean, but you ladies, No, you ladies, you love to be pampered, okay? And things like.
Yeah, I prefer to do that myself than typically than have somebody, like, I'd rather just go and chill in a space somewhere in order to pamper myself, like in a forest or in the Japanese garden by the stream, and just that's my pampering. Massages and things like this, I love that, of course. But
pampering is a personal thing.
Yes, it is. Like, for example, I've had a pedicure and a manicure done once before because Andrea paid for it for me. She insisted I go for one, and I did not enjoy that much, to be honest with you. Yeah,
I had acupuncture once.
Oh, that's nice.
I was a bit concerned, but once I had it done, I thought, oh, it's all right. Actually does work. What I found was, and to be fair, I've only had it done once, was that it didn't work for very long. I think it probably lasted a day. I don't know. I can't remember now, but I knew it didn't last. It doesn't last forever. It's like everything, But it was great. I mean, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it at the time.
But the thing is with something like acupuncture and with like if you go for a massage or physio session, you go for one session. gonna do you much good. You're gonna feel nice for a day or two, like you say, but after that, your body's gonna start to take over again, and the toxins will, you'll start feeling the toxins in your body, that inflammation in your body and whatnot. But if you go regularly, let's say you go for an acupuncture session or a physio session or a massage once a week. Trust me, when you do that every week on a regular, consistent basis, you can afford that. If you know somebody that can do that for you, you start to feel the difference. You really do. And it becomes a more of a noticeable thing that, I really feel good these days, because you've given that treatment the opportunity to keep doing its job, and so your body starts to change. This, unfortunately, so many people just do one thing once and then they think that it never really worked for me. It's like eating healthy food. They eat healthy food for 1 month and they think, oh, what? Nothing happened to me. I don't feel anything. But they forget that they've spent 20, 30 years eating rubbish and garbage, and then 1 month of eating healthy, they expect miracles to happen. They may get headaches in the beginning, and they may feel tired and lethargic, but that's because their body's cleansing itself. And this is what's happening, and that takes time, especially when your body's toxic like many of us. I mean, pampering yourself is, I believe it should be a regular thing. It really should. And if you can take one, T. Harv Eker, he teaches, like, when you split up your money into different jars. Okay, so every time whenever you get money coming in, you split it up into different accounts or different jars. And one of them is your play account. So every month you put, say, 10% or whatever that is that you can afford to, percentage-wise, of your income, and you put that into a play jar. And that play jar, that money, whatever that figure is, that must be spent every month.
All right.
And so every month you're doing something with that money, and that's a way of pampering yourself. Whether it's to go play temp and bowling, whether it's to have a massage, whether it's to go, book a day in a hotel, and just spend a day in a hotel or something like that. Whatever it is for you, and this is important. This is essential to be able to do that for yourself every month, once, even if it's just 1 day a month or a couple of hours. It really does change the way you think.
I'm going to get myself a play jar then.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
I've got a play jar. Yeah, I have my different accounts, my different bank accounts, which money goes into, and I have my play jar here so that I can take that money and I spend it when.
Yeah. So here's a question for everyone. It's a question for you as well, Warren. When was the last time that you had a genuine beaming smile on your face? Can you remember? Apart from when you saw me when I came on here.
There it is there.
No, but think about it. If we're on here, we're enjoying ourselves. But think about, for everyone else and for us as well, think about when we're on our own. Okay. When was the last time you had that beaming smiling face? When was the last time you went along whistling and didn't even realize? And when was the last time you sang in the shower? That type of thing. It's things that we sometimes forget. I know you do it all the time.
The simpler things, right?
You probably do it all every day.
I do, actually. Although I'm not necessarily singing in the shower, but I think you know what I'm doing in the shower with my incantations.
I don't know, and I don't want to know what you're doing.
With my incantations.
Sorry, your incantations. Yeah. Okay.
That puts a smile on my. But today, it happened to me twice today. I was actually, when I finished training, I was coming home from the park, and I was walking along the path in the park, and there was a little girl and her mother, and the mother was trying to get the girl to leave this statue. It's a big iron statue that's in the park of a poet, a Hungarian poet, and he's an old man. He's sitting in this chair, and she was going up to him and, like, touching it and stroking it. And kids are fascinated by the statue, the sculpture.
Yeah.
And because it's an old man, and when they see and they recognize what it is, they become drawn to it because they see it as an old man figure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I had a big beaming smile on my face, and the mother saw the smile, and we started talking. And then the second time was I went to go put petrol in the car earlier, and it went over 005 over. So it was, instead of being rounded off number, it was 005. and I knew I didn't have change in my wallet. And as I walked in towards the petrol station to go pay, I saw a 5 foreign coin, like a 5-cent coin or 5p coin, sitting on the floor, and I just smiled because I knew that was the universe saying, "Here we go," you know. And it just, so instead of breaking a note, I could just pay with that coin, and then have a rounded off payment, so not have too much change in my wallet. But yeah, it just put a smile on my face. But 99% of people, unfortunately, Paul, they won't even see the coin.
Yeah.
You know, they won't even notice the little girl, oogling at the statue. They'll just go straight past them, and they may see it, but it won't get a response from that. So, yeah. And when you start noticing these small things in life, you start noticing all the small
absolutely.
things in life.
Yeah. So, okay, so let's give a few quick feel-good tips before we depart this place. So, well, some things that we can suggest. Now, we've got to keep a little bit off what we normally talk about, like exercise and meditation and things like that, although they'll be fantastic. But just the sheer thing about keeping on moving is very, very important, because we're looking to increase our levels of endorphins and things like serotonin, because they're happy hormones. So what else would you say that would bring some kind of joy to people's lives, and definitely my life anyway.
Create the mindsets, and this is not as difficult as you may think it is. Just create the mindset of, for looking for opportunities to smile. Just start looking in your day to day for opportunities to smile. Whether doesn't matter what it is, but just look for the opportunities to smile, because when you do smile, that immediately the action of smiling immediately changes the chemical responses in your body.
Yeah.
And if you can just smile at small things throughout the day, it doesn't have to be a major event. Just look for those opportunities to smile. And when you do, you'll notice that life will become so much less complicated for you. It really does.
I do try to be a little bit annoying. And I used to go along the road and make a point of looking people in the eye and say, "Good morning."
Yeah.
The different reactions you get. Some people go, "Oh, morning, yeah, hello," and other people just scowl at you. It's great.
Especially in your neck of the woods. In the UK,
absolutely.
People do not like to be confronted
anywhere near London, or maybe if you're in New York or I don't know, Paris, I don't know. But it's great watching people's reaction. And
I'll never forget when I was living in London and my mother came to visit me, and the one year, and coming from South Africa, we greet people when we walk down the street. You acknowledge people. It's respect. You understand? You don't have to go hello, hello, hello. You just look people in the eyes and you acknowledge that you see them. And my mother came to visit me, and we get into the metro onto the tube, and we're sitting down. My mother's like looking around, and she says to me in her loud South African voice, she goes, "Don't people even look at each other here?" And a few people looked up and looked at my mother, and I said, "No, Mom, you can just look. Everyone's reading their newspapers, their books. They just look, got their head down." And I said it out loud as well, not loud, but in conversation, normal conversation, because it's just, I didn't want my mother to feel that she was different. You know what I mean? Because she's not.
If you want, there's two things here. Once I've probably mentioned both these things before, but it just makes me laugh when I think about it. It's the fact that when I went up to Derbyshire, and I was in a village, and I went off to go and get the Sunday paper, and it was a short walk, and it took me about 45 minutes because everyone I saw was saying morning, good morning, and they wanted to talk to you. It's like a parochial, I think they call it, don't they? Where the everyone knows what everyone's doing, and that type of thing. Yes, it was an education from a miserable person from London. So, but it was funny. And then the other times when Ron was on a train in London, and I was with a mate, and I love winding people up in the nicest way. And I'd say, and it was packed. This train was packed, and I looked at everyone, and there wasn't one person smiling. so I just shouted out, "Well, look at all the happy people on here." Yeah, it was like half of them scowled. Yeah, and you know, you had quite a few people laugh, a few people smiled under their hand and things like that, because they knew. Everybody knew.
Everybody knew, of course. And this is the thing: we all know when we're doing it, you know, especially when we're reminded about it.
Yeah.
We were on the last train one night. We had been out drinking in London, and we were on the last tube train. So it was I think it was a midnight train. And in those days, just prior to those days, I mean, we used to have Mr. Motivator on TV in the morning breakfast show. There was a Mr. Motivator, a guy that used to wear like leg warmers and short shorts on. It was before that in any case. And he used to come and do like aerobic classes on the morning show on British, I think it was a BBC as well. Okay. And everybody was sitting on the train. It was the last train of the night, and everybody was clearly drunk.
Yeah.
Okay, but nobody was engaging. Everyone, I was with a group of friends, but everyone was just sitting there like drunk. So I jumped up on the edge of the tube and I said, "Hey, everybody, it's Mr. Motivator. Let's dance." It did cause a bit of a ruckus. People just started cracking up.
Yeah, but I have to say, it's one of my big dislikes is the last train home on Friday night. I've got to say. So, yeah, get them drunks away from me. So, all right, great. I think we've covered the feel-good facts. I think we've given a general idea of what we've been talking about. So,
yeah, I'm sure people will know by now if they've watched this far into the video.
Shake it up a bit. Do something. Yeah, do something a little bit different.
Don't take yourself or life too seriously.
No, it's very easy to do that. I've done it myself.
Yeah, of course it is. Yes.
Yeah. And so yeah, have a good time. And then it'll get even better when all this crap is over.
Oh.
In 2018. But yeah, I'm only joking. So yeah, you got to have a laugh. So enjoy yourself. Go out and have some fun. All right.
If you can go out, have some fun.
Yeah, depending on where you are, of course. But anyway, have a fantastic.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Yes. Have a blessed weekend. Have a lovely weekend. And put a smile on your dial.
Yeah, and think about what I said earlier. Not to put a downer on this one, but if you are suffering from chronic pain, get in touch with us, because we would like to interview a few people as well. So
that would be, especially if somebody has, like myself, been not a victim of chronic pain, but struggling with chronic pain syndrome, which is, I've done that. I've experienced this my whole life, basically since I was a child. But if there's anybody out there that listens to this video and has overcome chronic pain in their life, we would love to interview you and get your ideas to what your experience was regarding that and how you've managed to, what tools you use for yourself to get through that, because it is a very real thing. But it's never, people don't normally look at it as a label either. You know, they just feel the pain and they say, I'm in pain. But you're living with pain for your whole life. And that's a syndrome. And if you're experiencing pain and it's been chronic and then let's chat. We'd love to have a chat with you in private or on here. Your choice.
Yeah, you can either be interviewed on video or we could talk to you off camera, and then even if we had to change your name, it doesn't matter. What we're looking for is the experience of
stories
or what you experienced. So that's us done. Thank you very much. Have a brilliant weekend, and we'll be back next Friday.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Unless things change.
Unless things change. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.